Hey everybody, I'm Spegtacular, the Silver Stack. I'm here with Joe from Beantown Coins. Joe, are you moving? You're leaving?
Gang. No, this is us just coming back from a show, getting ready for another show. A lot of people don't realize how much travel can be involved in full-time coin dealing.
So you don't just stay here at the shop all day long, each and every day, you move around?
No, that's one of the reasons why it takes such a team to run this place, is because we've got to be represented in 2 or 3 places on the same day sometimes.
Okay, so you're a real deal coin shop over here, St. Pete, Florida. I'll have some information down in the description so people can check you out. But give us kind of like a rundown of maybe like a typical week or maybe even typical month, if you want to expand it, of a coin shop dealer like you. Like, what do you do?
So yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a daily routine of getting the store open every morning, and there's a team for that. But there's parts of that process that I have to be involved in, usually the financials, seeing where the money is moving at, making sure that we're on top of where the numbers have to be every day. So that's really a big part of my job as the coin shop owner. For a numismatist in my shop, the day it looks like you get in here, the store gets set up, you get kind of right on your work. If it's listing coins online in one of our many internet places you can buy coins from us, like our Whatnot store, our eBay store, our website itself. There's just so many places that we can find coins. So those things have to get listed. And then we have our live daily auctions, and every numismatist has to take a round at that on a regular basis. There's a lot of processing of new inventory when it comes in. So, that's usually handled by a more senior numismatist, at least at the first level, but it's where the opportunity for training comes in. We've got a training program here at Beantown Coins that is designed to take someone through the mastery of numismatics in a 7-year period.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I need to join that.
Yeah, 7 years of working for somebody, I think it should have resulted in more than just the pay that you made along the way, right? It's got to further your life and move it forward. And I use that model because of the old days back when we actually had apprentices and masters and all tradespeople were trained.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, and the way it was back then in those medieval times is, let's say you were a carpenter, you wanted to be a carpenter, you were started as an apprentice, and you apprenticed for 7 years under a master. And at the end of that 7 years, you were given your tools after you were declared a master by the guild. A collection of other masters who all said, all right, this kid's good enough, he does master level work. We'll call him a master too. And there were secrets that were given to you and ways of proving yourself as a master when you travel. That's actually the foundation of Freemasonry and that's ideas too. But there's a lot of controversy over Freemasonry because a lot of evil people can come up out of any organization over the years.
Sure. Well, that's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Police. There's been evil police.
Sure.
There's been evil people that worked at Burger King. It is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. And any group, any individual can give any group that they're associated with a bad name over time.
That's sad. It is what it is, though. I want to talk about more about just the specifics on what you do. But one of the things, like you mentioned, was Whatnot, right? Yeah. Which is an online auction. Mm-hmm. I've been to your Whatnot. I've hosted it a couple times just for fun.
Thank you.
And yeah, it was great. And I just want to say that you have some really good products on your Whatnot, and they're great price. You work with people sometime, like right then, if somebody goes, hey, what about $5 less on whatever that item is? You go, yeah, maybe we can do that. Yeah, sure. And you move it. And I don't think people really understand how cool Whatnot is, that they can come and see a real coin shop owner live.
You got to get that. It's like if you're anywhere other than St. Petersburg, Florida, you're going to have a really hard time coming into the store and being able to see the product in real time as it's moving in and out of our shop. So much of our stuff never gets a chance to make it into that first step, where it's listed in all the places because we've got demand for it already. So it leaves because it's on someone's want list. All the more reason, guys, if you're looking for something scarce or rare, to communicate your want list to us because we'll call you with it when it shows up, which is a much more reliable way for you to get a chance to actually, get first dibs on something that's hard to find.
Gotcha.
And if you're the only guy looking, you get first dibs, right? So it just depends on how hard the thing is that you're looking for. But I do it all. You can get as down the rabbit hole in numismatics as you want, and I'll play. So we'll go hunting. So I would say I've lost track of the question.
Well, I was talking about Whatnot.
You gotta come to Whatnot.
People hear the name and they're just kind of confused by what it is, but it's auctions, right? Sometimes they're fast-paced auctions, sometimes it's slowed down. Joe, your show also does buy it now, so people don't have to even participate in the auction. They can just get really good deals on Besker bars. You've had those on there before.
What, guys? It's live access to us, from a distance, because you can walk into our store anytime that we're open and get our attention, right? But if you're looking for something or you just want to see what we got, it's actually one of the most reliable ways. It's more reliable than surfing our website because the website's never going to show all of our inventory. It's not often going to show the newest stuff.
And when I was hosting your show, people were putting in their requests in the little chat during Whatnot, and I was in my own head. I'm thinking like, well, he doesn't have that, and then like all of a sudden you're like, no, wait, we got that, and then you bring one out, and I'm like, holy smokes, like this guy has everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Live.
We'll set it out and put it out right there so you can purchase it through that. So Whatnot is another venue. It's another way in which for you to get access to coins. For us, it's a way that you can follow us anytime, every day. If you become fans of me or of the show, I'm not hosting the Whatnots myself very often, but usually people can get a message to me live through the show, because if you say something to Mac, for example, and like, hey, ask Joe such and such, Mac might just be like, hey, Joe.
Yeah, you're in the back.
I'm
right?
there, like I'm here at the shows, unless I'm traveling for a coin show, which is kind of how this conversation got started. So that's a day that I'm home. There's, probably more than half of the weeks of the year is a week that I travel to a coin show.
Okay. Well, to circle back real quick before we go on, down there in the description, I'll have all of Joe's information so you can check out his phone number, his address to his shop. There's also a link for Whatnot down there to save $15 off your first purchase if it's your first time trying Whatnot. And then see Joe and his crew with Beantown Coins and ask him some obscure coin things that you just, hey, do you have this weird coin from, I don't know, some weird country I've never even heard of? And he probably has a chance of getting it.
I might. Yeah,
or he knows how to get it.
I know how to get it. That's the thing. If it can be gotten, I can find it.
All right. So anyways, let's talk about evolution real quick first. Okay. So let's talk about how you are now. You got a whole crew behind you. You said you had to come in and make sure that all the financials are right. Was it always like that, or has this just progressed because your shop's been doing well?
Well, I have, in the course of my career, have done this business many different ways. And the retail store is somewhat new evolution. We've been here for more than a year, but less than 2. And it has gone very well. I couldn't ask for a better result as far as being able to sustain itself and thriving and being well accepted by the local community of coin dealers and the local community of coin collectors and enthusiasts. So, we're here now, we're accepted and welcomed, and we've become a big part of the local flow.
Yeah.
We've changed the way in which coins move about in St. Petersburg, and we have become the place to come, probably in West Florida, for questions outside of the U.S. market.
Well, I know, kind of to talk about that a little bit, I found you through another dealer who said, hey, you got to check out this guy. This guy's the real deal. His shop is amazing. So,
and it's those kind of referrals that'll just grow us over time. I'm grateful. Thank you to whoever sent you.
I mean, your stuff, yeah. So it was actually Nathan. Nathan did. So you can tell Nathan.
So we know Nathan, coin guy.
Yeah. There you go. Give him a little shout out. But okay, so you do the money stuff. What is going to a coin show? Because one day you're here at the shop, the next day you're going to other states.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Well, because I guess the reason why, because people often want to know that, is because we don't have manufacturers making new stuff other than the modern collectibles. They can't come make me a new Siege of Mines coin. There is what there is out there. So when I run out of inventory on a thing that I know that people have demand for, I got to go find it. Otherwise, I can't serve my customers. And that creates a very robust wholesale market for coins. More so than, it's unlike any other retail industry, I think, in that we have to continue to recycle the supply based on that which isn't in the hands of people who plan to keep it.
Gotcha.
We are the mobile inventory of the world as dealers. Dealers that don't want to sell their stuff aren't really dealers. They're collectors who sell some of their stuff, which is okay. But there's a certain point along the game where if you're buying stuff that isn't for sale, that's collecting and you're doing it on the side. It's not your business. In your business, everything that you buy has got to be for sale, or you're not a dealer.
So let's say you have a big coin show in like Georgia, right? You go there, not only are you selling coins, but you're walking the floor trying to find some inventory as well.
Constantly. I mean, most of us, especially if we're thriving on the sales side of this business, have to go to coin shows to replenish. The buying becomes more imperative than the selling. And we're going to sell more there too, which is a great opportunity to get new customers, to get the word out about our business, and for more people to come and discover our inventory in different places all over the country. But we have to go. If we don't go to these, like, where else am I going to find the stuff? I have a network of dealers that I communicate with regularly. I have to share with them the things that I'm looking for so they can call me, just like the want list process that we do with our customers. I'm participating in the want lists of other dealers.
Yeah, so like you guys are involved in like kind of hidden behind the scenes groups as well, where you talk about maybe, hey, I need this. Does anybody know where to get it? Maybe you know that person over there has it. They can ship it to you. So you're constantly moving around trying to figure out how to get stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What's the furthest you've had to go for a coin show? That you've actually sold in?
Boston to Long Beach, I suppose. I haven't participated in any of the international coin shows. There's a few of merit out there in the world. The biggest part of the world coin collecting market is the U.S. market. See, as I've said in other videos, the United States is the biggest consumptive market in the world, and everybody wants to play here because it's Americans who spend the most money on coins, even coins of other countries. So yeah, this is the place where the market lives, and this is where most of the coins that are most desirable, many of them are here in some collectors' hands.
I'll tell you what, I've been to like Spanish coin treasure auctions. People coming from Spain, you know what I mean, here to the United States to get these pieces. You know, it's kind of it's interesting. This, like you said, I guess this is the place to be. You know, for that stuff. Any other little secrets about being a coin shop owner, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, we got to.
There's probably so many.
Yeah, there's I guess the secret part. It's like I guess the part that people don't see is probably a lot of the travel stuff. You know, to make the travel work, we have to fly sometimes, drive sometimes. You know, moving the product through airports is a particular way to.
Oh yeah.
Think about that.
Is that a pain?
It's all metal. You know, what do you think happens when you go through airport security with metal?
All the way down, man.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're ever going through airport security and just like dreading that they're going to have to actually do an inspection of your bag, just imagine what it's like to travel on 40 to 80 flights a year and know that you'll be stopped every time.
Every single time, huh?
Well, no, actually,
randomly.
It turns out that occasionally, and this is usually due to my part, if you line your coins up and they're all certified in boxes, in rows, in your bag, you can get it just right and symmetrical where their machines, which take the scans from 3D angles, can see through the coins and can see that all of the metal in the bag is tiny discs.
Oh, okay.
That are not threatening. But it takes you packing your bag a certain way and a highly skilled TSA officer for the occasional times that I have been waved through without an inspection. But you should expect to get inspected if you're going to move coins through the airports. And you never want to pack them in the belly of the plane. It's just out of your control. You put them up in the carry-on. I know you got to go through it at security, but go through it at security. That's how we move our stuff from show to show, is what we can carry.
Be careful. You mentioned like little discs, but nowadays coins come in all different shapes and sizes. Some in the shape of a knife, in a gun, a batarang. Are you not taking that stuff with you when you go, just because of you might get stopped?
Yeah, flight shows we fly to, we don't take things with large packaging most of the time. That's the thing too. We don't take anything. I don't usually fly to shows with the silver bullets, which come in various different calibers, because I mean, when you scan through a bag, a bullet is shaped like a bullet. You know, and I have had to do that once where it was pulled out and they're just like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, read the bottom. And it says 999 fine silver. I'm like, look, there's no gunpowder. It's one piece.
Jeez. Yeah, I never even thought. See, that's interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And I think another interesting fact is, although these are your bags right here that you're going to pack up and go with, people probably bring stuff like this into you and say, hey, I'm selling all my coins in this bag, right? And they just dump a bunch of coins on you. And as a coin dealer, you got to go through that whole mess and try to figure out the value. If there's something in there, you got to label everything. That has to be a nightmare.
And no, it's the joy of the job, man.
That's what you do.
What? That's got to be a nightmare. That's like, telling Picasso, oh my God, you got to mix paints every day and stand in front of a canvas and I bet your back hurts. And it's like, what is your perspective? Are you kidding?
Well,
No, that's the best part of this thing, man. Please keep me busy and buried in piles of coins.
That's what you like.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll sit there and books trying to figure out which country this belongs to, and you'll find out, like, the actual silver weight on the pieces.
Hey, listen, when someone brings something by that I got to actually look up and research, I'm even more excited, because as the years go on, that's less and less common.
Oh, okay.
There comes a point where you just do this all day, thousands of coins every day or week. You're
Seen it before.
most.
Yeah, really. Wow.
And even that which you haven't seen, like you already know what it is, you just hope to see it someday. And then when you see it, you're like, I know exactly what this is. This is awesome, man. I'm finally getting to hold one.
So when you get something new, you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? That does not happen very often. And it is so, so fun.
That's cool.
And I love to challenge myself too to see like how fast can I thoroughly identify and attribute this unknown thing.
Yeah.
When it's unknown, it's like, can I do it in 3 minutes, 2 minutes? Well, like how fast can I, boom, like this is what this thing is.
Everybody thinks, Joe, that once you become a coin shop, dealer, and you have your own place, it's nothing but just dollar bills, just flying everywhere.
People think that?
Are there losses too?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, we take losses on a regular basis. Sometimes it's shipping issues. Sometimes it's nefarious customers who try fraudulent maneuvers, and it turns out that for $7, I'd rather forget about them and lose $7. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of people that take advantage. There's how else do losses happen? Mistakes. You double sell a piece. You miss out on an opportunity to sell it because you accidentally didn't track it in inventory. That's happened over the years. There's everything. When you're doing thousands of anything, then everything that can go wrong will.
Yeah.
At some point along the way, there's always there's lots of different ways that losses happen. And then there's just bad purchasing. You got to get that since we have to buy all of this stuff before we can sell it, you statistically can't not buy wrong sometimes. I mean, it's really like this. If you buy 1,000 coins, if you work for me and you spend money on 1,000 coins, and we're, vetting out the profitability of all that, there's a certain percentage of those that I know will be losers. It's a law of statistics and probability. I just have to manage how big the losers are and the percentage of them that happen, and versus how the percentage of the winners and how big the winners are. And that's, just like I guess in stock trading, we are trading stock of inventory. It's just so much more complicated than most other markets.
Very interesting. This is stuff nobody's ever talked about, Joe.
Yeah, and I have to evaluate myself the same way. I make losses. I buy things for too much. Everybody on my staff does at some point or another.
Well, I know that sometimes there will be customers looking for very specific things. And in order for you to pry that out of somebody's hand so you can satisfy this customer, you might have to pay up a little bit for these things, right? I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes it's part of the game.
Well, that's what it is when a coin is rising in value. And that's a difficult chase for a lot of people. I saw it happen fairly recently in some, real classic world coins like Puerto Rican pesos, Central American Republic 8 reals, certain pieces that there's just not, as many examples of, and the demand is rising. So with each passing year, I have to spend more money to replace the inventory, and I have to charge more for them. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, I don't like it. They cost so much more. But until they stop selling at the higher levels, the market hasn't peaked.
Yeah.
And I have to judge those things carefully in my purchasing, by knowing the demand for a particular coin type everywhere, like not just my own demand, but what's the demand for my colleagues? Because if someone else has a lot more demand for something than me, it's much smarter for me to wholesale it to them for a small margin than to be greedy waiting for retail myself. That keeps my capital stagnant.
Joe, have you thought about retirement? I know you're very young, but has that ever crossed your mind?
Well, I think about retirement, for example, and people who dream about retirement hate what they're doing day to day. I mean, you must, because if you really love what you're doing, you can't really tell the difference between whether you're working or playing.
And you're playing right now, Joe.
I used to say that about the Renaissance masters, right? If you watched them work, whether they were sculptors, painters, you couldn't tell if they were working or playing because they're loving what they're doing. This is what would I retire to? Would I be happy? Because if I would be happier on a beach with a Mai Tai, I could already be on a beach with a Mai Tai.
Yeah, on the weekend, right?
Yeah, but what's your life for, right? Have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so once you get out of survival and even out of stability, you get beyond stability, your life is stable financially, then you're confronted with a very important question, what is your life for? There's too many people who are beyond financial stability that don't have a reason, raison de vivre, a reason to live. So, have that in advance of the success that you're chasing, if you're chasing success. If you want to get stable and financially secure and all those sort of things, know what your purpose will be after that, because I can suppose that it happens a lot, that people are not as satisfied with what they thought they would be. the Mai Tai on the beach. It gets old. It gets old. You've got to really be satisfied with your life, even when your money's right. You've got to have a purpose that's worth efforting and struggling for. Something that's worth challenges and difficulties and failures, and because life's going to be filled with struggle and challenge and problem no matter what. So make sure that what you're after is worth all of that struggle and challenge and problem. And yeah, I wouldn't do anything else. What else would I do? I'll be doing this until I'm too old to move to the coin store. And this business is not physically taxing. So you can wheel me into a Bourse floor.
I've seen those people.
I'll be trading coins, guys, till the bitter end. So if you're under, I guess I would say at this point, if you're under 95 years old, there's a good chance I'll be trading until you're ready to sell your collection.
Heck yeah. I'm happy to hear that, Joe. You know, and that's awesome.
Like I'll be here a long time, guys. Another 40 years if I can pull it off.
That should pump a lot of people up. Yeah.
God willing.
Good news. Well, Joe, unless you can think of anything else, I want to give people, of course, your information once again in the description of the video, so they can, do business with you if they'd like to. And I think you would like that too.
Yeah, please. Beantown Coins. I highly recommend checking us out on Whatnot any day, all the time. It's live access to the shop from anywhere in the world, and a chance to actually do the transaction wherever you are, however you need to. Shipping is all handled on there, so like it's just an easy way for everybody to do business with us remotely, but in real time, guys. Like right now, what's going on? What came in today? What are we doing now? What's like that?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a
blast.
It's a game changer.
It's live. It's live. It's the live Beantown every day. Right now it's 2 o'clock, but it's every afternoon. Come in.
Right on. Yeah. Joe, thank you so much.
Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. When I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.